Hello, my apprentices.
Hello
Welcome
there.
back to Nerd Theory. Today we got some more stuff to talk about as usual. And it's another new week, new set of news. Josh, how was your week, man?
Good, man. Good. Had the vaccine thingy. That was a little rough on the system. Rougher than I thought it was going to be. But other than that, it was good. The sun was shining. Read some new comics. I've been catching up on a new Marvel event. Shout out to the Marvel Comics readers. I just started reading Heroes Reborn. Very cool series from Marvel. First one that I've been really into in a long while. So yeah, it's been a good week. Good nerdy week. I thought the Bad Batch episode was cool. Nothing crazy, but kind of fun. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it too much. What did you think of it?
It was cool. Yeah, just getting tired of the whole same old crash land on a planet, refuel, fix the ship. Let's get out of here. Go somewhere else. Crash land again, refuel, get us. It's just... Let's get onto the plot. You know, the first episode was such a banger. Second episode was pretty hot too, but that was just Crosshair's campaign, I guess. Crosshair's point of view of everything, which was sweet. Yeah. Everything else was just kind of the same old, and it seems to be following a certain theme constantly with Mandalorian. Some other episodes of Clone Wars, it's like crash land on a planet, refuel, fix the ship. Get into some mischief.
I know, right?
Get back to the ship. We all leave. Dude,
right?
Rebels was notorious for that. It was like every episode was like that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I think, it's fun. I'm enjoying Bad Batch, but here's the thing, man. I think last week I said something. It was funny. I was thinking about this as I was like talking with some of my subscribers about the show. Is like I had said something last week like, but it's an animated show. And then you sort of reacted in a way where you're like, it's more than an animated show. And it's like, I agree with you. But the thing is, the show doesn't do itself that much service when it continues to be tropey like this and just be like fewer and fewer minutes in length and also just run over the same plot points the same way. It's kind of contrived. And I think the show will end in a really strong place. It'll do some amazing things for Star Wars. But like, I don't know, man, that whole thing of like open it up in a banger episode and then have sort of a lull period and then finish strong. I'm not a super big fan of that. You know what I mean? I'm not super into it. And it makes the show, it makes me take it less seriously as Star Wars content. That's not to say I'm not enjoying it. I am enjoying it. But I think part of the reason, I think part of the reason that I'm able to enjoy it the way I do is because I'm like, it is what it is. It's not gonna end up being that crazy thing, until later maybe. Sure. It was fine. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. So but it's only gonna be the fourth episode this Friday. So
well, not only that, it's the fourth episode, but if you really think about it, it's like hour 2. Well, it's hour 2 really, because you have like that 70-minute episode, then you have like a 30-minute, then you have a 28, then you have a 26. You start to add that up. You're really only looking at a little over 2 hours. So it makes sense for where we're at, you know what I mean, in the story. But I would love to see the action pick up. I'll say this. One thing I definitely think is very impressive with Bad Batch and needs to be mentioned is the animation is incredible, dude. It's beautiful, dude. I feel like it's probably the best I've seen Lucasfilm Animation do ever, and they've done some beautiful stuff, and they haven't even done anything really iconic yet in Bad Batch. We've seen incredible moments done in animation, like when, spoiler alert, but when Kanan dies, and the visuals of that are just mind-blowing. Clone Wars has all sorts of incredible visual moments, especially in the 7th season with Ahsoka and Maul. So I think we'll get some of that towards the end of Bad Batch, and in this animation, it's going to look good, man.
Dude, 7th season of Clone Wars was fantastic for the animation, of course. But everyone mentions Maul and Ahsoka like you did. But, dude, that scene in the very beginning with Anakin and Obi-Wan.
True.
And that slow-mo. Yeah. Where Obi-Wan saves all the clones from, swiping the missile. Like,
dude, the way isn't it, like there's like this mist or
like
smoke,
a mist.
Yeah, that comes around his saber. Dude, yes, I agree. Yeah, that was very visually cool. And I think it just shows like whoever that team is, or maybe it has to do with direction, computing, whatever. It's just getting better and better. And I feel like have you ever had this moment? I had this moment in Clone Wars often where you forget you're watching animation. You know what I mean? Like you kind of are like, it really feels. And I think this is actually because George did so much CGI in the prequels that it blended into animation in some places. Yeah. So it's like it really feels.
The story's so good.
The story just sucks you in, but I feel like I get I feel like this new stuff is going to end up being very close to live action eventually. You know what I mean? Whatever
Our
the
boy
next thing will be.
Vito saying Omega is a clone of Kenobi. Because she said hello there. I don't know about that, but
He's just very much hoping it's not a clone of Boba, but it is.
Yeah, he would be so pissed. Who do you think will, or more importantly, should play Maul in the Solo sequel? Ray Park.
Ray Park. I think he's assuming. I think the way Connor he's saying it as though Ray won't be back because of social media stuff or whatever. But obviously Ray is the dude for it. He should be the guy.
There's no other guy.
There's probably a couple other guys, to be honest with you, but I would personally love for it to just be Ray. You know what I mean? So that's what I'd be into. Now, I guess this is because
wait. Who would you hire?
Well, okay. So first of all, it's going to be Sam's. It's going to be Sam's voice, right? So that's automatically going to give you a thread, even if it's not Ray. So you need someone physical. You need someone that does, that is really good physically in sword play. I mean, I don't know, man. There's even like a Joe Manganiello, you know what I mean? Like Joe could maybe do it.
The Maul's face is Ray Park, dude.
It's pretty iconic.
The movements, the like, he's a martial arts master, man. He's the real deal.
Yeah, I know.
And he is kind of like he gets in the role so much that he becomes Maul. Like I feel like he full on I wrote in a post somewhere. He's like, if they had me do a Maul show or a Maul movie, I would seclude myself somewhere in some cabin far away from civilization and just grow a beard and work out and train and live in hatred or something like that. Like he
sounds amazing. To be honest,
ready to go.
This is one of the reasons I don't really get jealous often, but I do get jealous of actors because think about this. This dude talking about literally going out to basically play pretend evil. You know what I mean? And yet he could afford to basically seclude himself, just be raged out and friggin' wait, what is going on in this super chat? What is this?
Theory Josh, it's my 21st birthday on Wednesday. Could I get it's not about the size, it's about the wrinkles, the brain size, and Anakin's voice, please? All right, that's a pretty fat super chat. So, and you're a member, and it's your birthday. So,
all right, here you go.
It's not about the size; it's about the wrinkles. Happy birthday, man!
Dude, yes, that's amazing. That was great. Yo,
right.
Speaking of Maul, we could kind of get into some Solo 2 talk. You know what I mean? If you want to kind of get into that a little.
Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into a couple other topics. Go for it.
So, it is the day that the Make Solo 2 campaign is making its big push on social media. I think they did the same thing last year. I think they did the same thing the year before. There's a group of guys, I believe it's headed off by the Star Wars Newsnet crew, and they're essentially trying to get a lot of social media buzz behind this hashtag to sort of show Disney that this is something that fans would want to be recreated on Disney Plus, right? And I think the thing is, it's meant to be similar to the Snyder Cut movement, and I think that especially after the Snyder Cut actually came out and people really liked it and it was cool, that this movement in particular felt like it was their moment or whatever to do it. And so that's making a big push out there. And you and I have a difference of opinion about Solo.
We do.
I actually don't like Solo. Frankly, I don't just not like it. I really don't like it. It's actually my least favorite Star Wars movie. It's the only Star Wars movie that I've only watched one time. And I've tried to watch it multiple times, bro. And I'm telling you, I can't do it. And I have all kinds of reasons why. But first, you love Solo.
I don't love it.
Don't you?
I don't love it. I think it was great. I think it was fine. I think it was fun. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand people who don't like Solo. Like, it's Solo. Like, it's not Luke Skywalker. It's Solo. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Like, it's cool. And then Maul's in the end of it. Like, what the hell? What's wrong with that?
The Maul stuff's cool. Look, here's what I'll say about it. There's a lot of cool stuff in the movie, bro. But there's a lot of whack stuff, bro. Like I'll tell you the moment I was kind of on the fence with the whole like intro on Corellia, just not the way I'd imagined Corellia. It felt like a poor man's Corellia. And when he goes into the secret base and it's this like Muppet looking lady that's talking all weird. Like, first of all, why is she talking?
We're not saying Solo 2 is happening. We're saying there's potential for it to happen. There's a lot of buzz.
And we'll get into and honestly, the way we want to take this conversation is I want to sort of complain about Solo, and then I want to ask, and then I want to say that I still think Solo 2 should happen. But anyway, So I know, right? So here's the deal, man. The friggin' movie starts to really lose me a little bit by little bit. But then when he gets his name
Thank you.
from the friggin' Imperial guy,
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
bro, it wasn't just stupid. It was like lore ruiningly bad. You know what I mean? And on top of that, the whole movie, and I later found out that one of the reasons this happened is because of all the reshoots, they took everything they shot and just desaturated it to make it all look similar. But if you notice, all the planets they go to are grungy, muddy, and dirty with not a lot of good lighting. And that's just because they had to remake the whole freaking movie before they did it, and they just desatted everything, and it looks like crap. You can't tell where anything is or what's going on. Now, there's some cool stuff in Solo, but frankly, that's a hodgepodge, like weird Franken movie that to me seemed way too much like a checklist of nostalgia for Solo, and didn't do what I think a Solo movie could have done. You know what I mean? And I felt like the
Solo movie
performance
got
was
Solo.
good.
The performance was great.
The performances were good. I like the
Look,
performance.
I'll tell you the only thing I didn't like was Enfys Nest.
Okay, just in general, or the twist with her or whatever.
Dude, it was like, it goes on too long in the movie about this big badass villain, and you're like, okay, this is the big one. Like, who is this? This is a Knight of Ren, or like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little girl who's leading a rebellion, essentially, of her own cause.
I felt like that was pretty whack. But at that point, for me, I felt like there's been so much whack stuff in the movie, honestly, that I was like, whatever. You know what I mean? But
dude, I liked everything else.
Yeah,
that was the only thing for me. I was just like, okay,
yeah,
well, whatever. And then of course it was Dryden Voss, and I was like, all right. And then it's Maul. I'm like, okay, fine. You're setting it up.
Right. And so that's kind of where I think we could take it is I actually do think that the Make Solo 2 movement is cool because I would like to see particularly those actors continue on in that story. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like the fact that the movie was remade really hurt it. And especially like living in a day and age where, we saw what happened with Zach and the studio interference, and then he gets to sort of put his actual vision out there. And it's like, bar none, 1,000 times better than the Whedon cut. I think, even if it's not necessarily what was Opie's name again? Rob. Why am I blanking on dude the guy that directed it? Ron Howard. Even if it's not Ron Howard that comes back and does continue this story, and even if they do it in a series, maybe on Disney Plus, bro, I'm telling you, I think that they could do some cool stuff with these characters in that timeline.
I think so, and I support this. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you for your opinion. I was just going to say, I think Solo 2 would work better as a TV series.
I would agree. I think there's a lot more room for fun, a lot more of flavor. Honestly, the thing is, like, the flavor of the week kind of stuff would play more in the vibe of Solo, because it's like, that's perfect for Han. I think one of the reasons that like the OG trilogy just works so well with that sort of like heisty, like, oh, we're on a mission, things are going wrong, is because of Han. Like, Han is just, he's an incredible character that pulls all of those scenes together, because in moments he's really sure of himself and can get them out of a moment. And then he's also like kind of a lovable fool that screws a lot of stuff up. So Han, even the younger version of him, I think, could totally pull that off and make it really, really enjoyable on a week-to-week basis.
I agree. And I think if they make a Solo 2, you just focus on Maul.
That's the way to do it, bro. Yeah, exactly. Or Crimson Dawn or whatever.
Look, there's this theme going on, and I think the theme is that, okay, hey, at Lucasfilm or at Disney, they're like, how do we cover the really popular characters without saturating popular characters? Let's cover shows about people that no one knows about, so we build on their story, but mainly, well, maybe not mainly, but also on the side, we cover the era that they're in and the main characters of those eras. So, like with Solo, they got Maul. With Rogue One, we got Vader. With Cassian Andor, we'll probably get Vader again. Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be, and that's why Obi-Wan Kenobi show is going to be the most important show, I think, because we're getting a show that's literally about the most important characters in Star Wars.
Yep, agreed.
Which they have not done because they're so afraid to go anywhere near Vader and have him in there for more than 2 seconds. Or Luke.
Man. Yeah, it's a weird thing that I mean, look, like I'm so pumped that Hayden's back and that we're doing this thing, but it's frankly just still weird that he wasn't in Rise of Skywalker. Like, I just don't care who you are. I don't care what story you're gonna tell me. It makes zero sense that he wasn't in Rise of Skywalker. I can't friggin' believe he wasn't in Rise of Skywalker. And so, at the very least, to see him again and back in Star Wars just kind of gives me that like a better feeling in my bones about Star Wars. It's like, oh, okay, at least they're not totally ignoring this mofo and like totally trying to move on or whatnot. Because you're right, he's the central character, you know.
Well, they're starting to realize they know where the money is.
Yeah.
These people don't understand story, they understand money.
Well, yeah, especially the suits, right? The suits will only more or less speak in terms of
guarantee you, if Watto was as popular as Anakin, they would be making a Watto spin-off movie or show.
You know, it's funny. I would argue Watto is more popular than a lot of the sequel trilogy characters. I'm not even playing. Like, that's tongue in cheek. That's tongue in cheek a little bit, but I swear to God, put Watto merch against some of the characters you have in the sequel trilogy merch-wise, and it's loot. Ironically or unironically, the Watto shit's gonna sell out. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm gonna message my merch guy right now and be like, "Yo, we need a
Watto
before
shirt.
I forget." No, it's not. It's not Watto. It's gonna be a fat blue dude with wings.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly. And mind tricks don't work on him. Only money. So I guess going into that, I'm gonna just now talk a little bit about the Dave Filoni story, if you're cool.
Yeah, let me just read this soup.
Read the soup, my guy. See what we
will
got
Disney
here.
ever make a series on Disney Plus or a movie trilogy saga about the Old Republic and Darth Revan and the ancient Sith Emperor more powerful than Darth Sidious? You mean Vitiate? I wouldn't say he was more powerful than Darth Sidious.
Different. He was probably the closest. He's probably the closest anyone's ever got.
They're pretty tit for tat, dude.
Dude, that fleet he has or whatever, that like thing he finds.
Yeah.
Then what is it called? The Immortal Fleet or something? But the thing is, doesn't that just mean Palps could find that or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? Like, couldn't Palps just find that or and then be essentially?
I don't know, dude. Palps was the most cunning. I think he was the most cunning of anybody.
Yeah.
And 100%. He was what? He was what, like 50 something when he fought Yoda?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he beat him? What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's very few Sith that even got close to Palpatine's level. You know what I mean?
For anybody in chat who's going to say he didn't beat him, okay, go read the novelization. Yoda even acknowledges that he failed.
Yeah, he totally acknowledges he fails. Otherwise, why is he leaving?
Yeah,
why is he leaving? Because he knows to get punked out at the bar. Sheev will be like, hey, Yoda.
Okay, so Rangers canceled.
Rangers canceled. Yeah, let's talk about that. So this is being reported in the Hollywood Trades. This was reported, I think, by Deadline or Variety. Pretty official as a whistle. They are saying that it is no longer in active development. Now, what that means is they had basically the company had it in active development. We all know this was John's show. So spinning out of The Mandalorian Season 2, the three amigos, as I call them, Rodriguez, Favreau, and Filoni, all got their own shows. And then essentially it seemed like after the production on those shows, they were going to come together again to figure out Mando Season 3. So Dave has Ahsoka, Rodriguez has the Book of Boba, and then Jon Favreau, who, by the way, is Jon freaking Favreau and has a huge part in this whole thing, right? His show is Rangers. Now, they're not saying, and by they I mean Disney, why the show has been moved from active development, but we all know why it was moved from active development. It has to do with one Miss Gina Carano. Gina was, she was going to be the co-star or at least one of the major characters in that show. Yeah. From what I heard, it was going to be her and Bo-Katan, weirdly enough, which doesn't even make that much sense to me. Yeah. But okay, maybe it was all about.
It doesn't make much sense, but
maybe it would all be about escorting. Well, maybe it was just all about escorting Homeboy back to the Republic, and Bo just said she needed to be there or whatever. I don't know, but that's what I heard or whatever. So essentially, this is again another story of trouble behind the scenes with Disney and production. What do you think, man? What do you think of this situation, just in general? You think that?
So, first of all, was it confirmed that it was canceled for sure?
It was.
Everyone is talking about that.
Yeah. So here's the thing: it was absolutely in active development, and it got moved from active development to being shelved. That look, the Hollywood Trades would not have reported a nothing burger of a story. It was definitely in pre-production. It was definitely moving along, and now it's more or less canceled. Now it could eventually come back. There's rumors that they were going to bring in Hera Syndulla, that they were going to cast for Hera and rework the story. Whatever's going on with that show, it got shelved, man. So either John is like put it on hold for now.
So it's not canceled. So I gotta change the title then. Rangers shelved.
Yeah, I mean, technically it is canceled until they bring it back. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a semantic argument, but as Obi-Wan would say, what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
All right. All right.
But yeah, what do you think? What do you think about the show being canceled?
I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, they shouldn't cancel it. I don't know why it was canceled. Like,
so do you think if it was Gina? Because here's the thing: if it was Gina, then that would imply that she had a huge part to do in that show.
Absolutely, she did. She was set up to be the main role, I think, or the second main role. At the end of season 2, when she got the pendant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that they will put Hera into it and maybe just put it back, or is John like kind of going to move away from that?
Yeah, I think they'll probably just, change the story around.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I've heard that there's rumors and stuff that they would bring Gina back or whatever. I don't know if any validity to that whatsoever. But if there are negotiations ongoing, then it would make sense that maybe they would move it out of active development until that got sorted out. That's technically, by the way, exactly what happened to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think they moved it from active
James
development.
Gunn?
Yeah, when they pulled James Gunn, I think they did.
And then they gave it back to him.
They gave it back to him. Yep. So who knows? Maybe they could do something like that with Gina and with the show. But yeah, I don't know. Would you want to see John just kind of develop a new show, or just get to work on Mando 3? I mean, what do you think?
Thank you. Yeah, look, I mean, we've got a ton of stuff in the works. Book of Boba, then we have Mando 3, we got Ahsoka.
Yeah.
To be real with you, I'm not really all that interested in Rangers of the Republic. I'm cool.
Maybe
I'll watch it.
Dude, maybe that's what John was saying. Maybe he like saw the buzz for it. He looked at how difficult it would be to resurrect the show, and he was just like, nah, like I'm just gonna focus on this, or maybe we'll just do this or something like that.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they make the show and they make it like super cool and engaging and hype, but again, it's like Solo to me. Like I'll watch it, like I'll enjoy it. I think it's cool. It's in the Star Wars universe. It's in the whole mythos, but I'm not like going to bed being like, I can't wait for it. No, like the Obi-Wan show.
It was low. It was low on the totem pole for me too. I guess the only reason that I'm a little salty about it is because it was John's show, and to me, I mean, this is a guy that, if that's the show he picked, or if that was his show, like it was going to be something special. You know what I mean? Like it was probably going to be super freaking cool. Like Walker, Texas Ranger with these characters out in space. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So I don't know. That's sort of the only reason that I'm a little bit down on the news. And it kind of makes sense, given that she has been removed from employment. By the way, can we talk about the Star Wars ratioed videos? You showed me this before we went live.
They're still being ratioed months.
That's the most ridiculous thing. Okay, so I didn't realize how bad it was, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just explain to you. Go to the Star Wars official YouTube channel. If you haven't seen this, it's worth checking out on your own. Go to the Star Wars YouTube channel, go to the videos tab, and just look at pretty much every video for the past 3-4 months, except for the Bad Batch videos, which tend to actually do fairly well. But literally everything is getting ratioed, and not a little bit, a lot of it. Like down to like 24%, 19%, 7%, 11%. Like it's a bloodbath over there. Now it kind of makes me realize why they wouldn't do something on May the 4th. You know what I mean? Like they might have pulled out of May the 4th announcements just because they're getting freaking clowned, dude. Like hard. I didn't realize it was that crazy.
I don't check that stuff. My former editor told me about it, and he was like, dude, it's still going on. I was like, wow. So I checked from you and I just before we went on air, and yeah, it's still going on.
It is.
I don't
crazy.
Watch the Star Wars channel anymore. I to be frank,
yeah,
I don't. The content isn't as interesting to me anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
I'll be
not
real. I
not
don't
that
know.
Star Wars isn't, but what they're putting out for me is just
Yes,
like a
fair.
snooze fest for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of like High Republic stuff, and then
Yeah, it's just stuff I'm not interested in. So
yeah, it's look. I think that at the end of the day, like Lucasfilm has to realize that they can't. Like, I don't think there's just a way forward without addressing the elephant in the room and trying to fix the problem. Like if they think they're just going to be able to hide on the internet or only do streams that have comments and likes or ratios turned off or whatever, like that is a disaster. Like that's a disaster. You know what I mean? And it just will continue to push the image and the narrative out there that Star Wars is just this really sloppily managed company. I hadn't even realized. I guess it just totally flew over my head or whatever. But the article on, I believe it was the 11th of this month by Forbes covering the Gina Carano situation, and some of the things they said in that article were really brutal towards Disney, actually, like more brutal than I'm used to. Forbes isn't a Hollywood trade, but they have some people over there like Mendelsohn, or I think that maybe it's not Mendelsohn, maybe it's the other guy. But regardless, that usually play pretty nice with Disney. And this just seemed like a very odd editorial choice. And I've been noticing, man, the Hollywood trades have been slightly turning on the mouse a little bit over the past couple of weeks. There've been a lot of aggressive stories against Disney. And I'm not exactly sure why or what's happening, but
really,
it could,
I
yeah,
haven't
for
noticed.
sure.
I don't keep
Was
tabs on that stuff.
a
But
lot of
what have
Marvel
you
stuff.
seen?
Well, a lot of Marvel stuff, right? So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
there's been some dissatisfaction with comments made by different people at Marvel. A little bit of beef with the China situation with Shang-Chi and the Eternal. So those two movies might not get accepted into the Chinese marketplace. Like China might reject them, and it's kind of interesting because in some ways those movies were made for an Eastern audience, at least partially.
Interesting.
And so there's some beef there. And honestly, I couldn't believe it. Variety like went right at Disney about it. I think that actually that very day they wrote an article about Bob Chapek and how his new leadership was really shaking things up at Disney, and people were not feeling it. There was another one that came out about how Marvel is not using showrunners for their MCU shows on Disney Plus, indicating that this could be a bad thing for the industry moving forward. Now, these are all just stories, but usually it's not like this. It's not. Disney usually does not get a bunch of these whack-a-mole stories that hit them. This is usually because when you're the top dog and everybody loves you, it looks bad to be going after them. You know what I mean? When Disney was on top, when Disney was winning, you would see a lot of fluff, you would see a lot of like playing nice, and it just really seems like a lot of media is kind of turning. And that's, look, again, that's sort of a residual effect of just the mismanagement that I think they've done. You know what I mean?
I zoomed us in.
Zoom, damn.
Chat, do you guys like this more? Type 1 if you like this more, or type 2 if you like the other way.
I don't like this more because you can see how much I'm sweating. Got to get the AC in this
No,
room.
you can't.
Well, because I just wiped it off. You see? You see the trickles?
Oh.
See the trickles?
Oh yeah, I see now. Yeah.
I'm
It's
sweating.
all that hair. You got to shave your head.
I know, right? Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah. Well, look, articles. One day they're for Disney, one day they're against Disney. What people don't understand, I think, and this is something I think I understand, because this is what I do for a living, is, or at least I'm in the game. Articles are there to get views.
Yeah.
They're no different than news stations on TV. They're there to get views. That's why they always cover stuff that is controversial or negative, or because it pulls in emotion, it pulls in views. Very simple. So today they're going to be bashing them. The next day, when they get some free movie tickets or something, they're going to be like the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't trust any of these guys anymore.
Fair. I think that's fair, but remember the sequel trilogy era, bro. Do you remember how the media was so fluffy towards Disney during the whole sequel trilogy era?
Yeah, man. They wanted those free tickets.
I know, but I'm just saying there's been a very drastic change in tone over the last 6 to 9 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's noticeable. And I think I think you're right. Like they're doing the thing that works for the clicks. But back in the day, the anti-antis, what made the clicks, right? So they'd be they'd be like coming after the man babies and stuff in their articles because that was what was getting the clicks. Now, which it's kind of interesting, a lot of people, including the Raylos, including a lot of these younger fans, like even some of the people that we've had on this show, have slowly not turned on the sequel trilogy, but at least acknowledged, like, hey man, this ain't all this, you know what I mean? And they did some whack stuff here, and that has created a more open sort of place for people to, especially these like journal websites, to be able to talk more openly, or at least pick a different angle. And I guess I'm just saying that at the end of the day, you're right, they're just articles, but from the public relations sense, Disney needs to understand that they can fix this problem. And the longer they act like they're just going to retreat, like, dude, that's not the way to do this.
You know what? No big company does that I wish that they did was have like a really personal rapport with their fans, you know, not some like bot or something like that, you know, like on their Twitter or whatever. Like, you know, full on, like what we do, like really talk to our fans, like yo, this is the way it is, and if you mess up, yo, I messed up. Like, dude, simple.
You're so right, because there's something about this relationship that we have with the subscribers, with the members, with the people that support us. It's so different than like a corpo, you know what I mean? It's so different than a company. Like, there's no company that's doing it perfectly right now, but there are some companies that are doing better than others. Like, for instance, okay, so this is not a company per se, but the account and the social media and marketing for the Invincible show, that show on Amazon, like, dude, just so much more engaged, so much more clever. It's a great show, but the way they engage on social media is so brilliant, dude. Like, the way they're looking for what. Oh, bro, you should check it out. It's a masterclass
on Twitter.
They'll reply to very like good tweets about them by famous people that makes those people feel awesome, and then they retweet. They'll meme perfectly. They'll like it was just really good and very like fun and memey, the way that they interact on social. So different than a lot of other companies. And the way they went back and forth between the boys account was very funny and humorous, you know, so they did some fun stuff there.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I don't really know if there's any companies that are doing it really, really well, but I think people they should hire community managers that basically become streamers or content creators. Like, that would be the best way to do it. Like, just like do streams and have your community people now. Because here's the thing. Like, okay, imagine this. Imagine like.
I'm just thinking if they hired us.
Exactly.
And I just don't.
But here's the thing. If they tried to do it themselves or did like an outside hire or whatever, it would feel fake AF. Everybody would see right through it. But if they got some people that were known for being real, brought them in, this is what I would do. And by the way, this is not a pitch for a job, but I'm just saying that this is what I would do if I was on the corpo side. I would be like, okay, grab up some of these influencers, put them in a room with our leadership, sign NDAs, and let just the crap fly. Let the crap fly and let everybody kind of just have it out, and then come to a consensus, and then like allow the influencers to then communicate what that communication was like to the wider audience, and then form the relationship kind of like that. You know what I mean? That would be the best way to do it.
Yeah, it would, but you'd probably be surprised. I wouldn't, at how fast those influencers would change their entire tone, because they're now part of the official.
Well, let's be real, okay? So if you and I got this, depending on what they said in this, let's just say this happened.
So you're saying, let's say Lucasfilm hired us to be their like social media person.
I would say community managers, just or liaison to the fan base or some bullcrap. Just give it a title, give some whatever. The main point is this: you have to give the influencers access to people that actually move and shake. That's the whole thing.
That actually are humans, aren't
that? Well, no, movers and shakers, like people within the. Not, it doesn't have to be like Filoni or Favreau, but people that are connected to them in their offices. Like, basically, it can't be a fake. Like, hey, this is to make you feel good. It's like, nah. Like, as an example, DC did a good PR move that was unfortunately completely hollow and also had a lot of bad problems. But after Batman v Superman, they went out and found all the critics that crapped on that movie the hardest and
Right.
then flew them out to the set of Justice League in Europe and said, hey, we know you gave the movie a very bad score. We just want to show you what we're doing for this movie. We acknowledge that there were some issues with the last film, and we think this one's going to be much better. Brilliant strategy. Because if you take your most critical people and you bring them in, they have no real incentive to like turn and flip to their audience or totally flip their thing. But they likely will be fair to what they see in the potential of the future. And the truth is, Disney doesn't need to win people back completely. They need to win people back for giving their stuff a chance and at least laying off. Right now, the pressure is on their neck. So they need to do something to move that needle. It's not going to solve the entire problem. It is certainly not going to take all the skepticism away, but it might at the very least get a lot of the fans to be like, okay, let's let off. We feel heard. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's like at least maybe give the next thing a shot or maybe not go as crazy as we're going right now. And I think there'd be a number of things. I mean, I would personally lobby for Gina to come back. I think it's just the right thing to do. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
who knows if they would ever do something like that. But the point is, as long as it would be real and you and I would be able to, like, absent of the contract we had or whatever, be able to just talk openly to our audiences on our own channel without jeopardizing that connection or position or whatever. It wouldn't even have to be a contract. It could just be a meeting. I think it would go a long way to set fans at ease.
I wouldn't.
You know?
I wouldn't want to do that. I would never do that. So I'd observe other channels to do that. But I would never want to do that because I would. Not that it would affect me, but I would feel like I would have some sort of I would think twice the next time I want to say something.
Well, okay,
know?
but that's fair. But why would you be thinking twice? Would you be thinking twice because of the connection, or would you be thinking twice because you actually felt like, hey, man, they're actually trying? Because if you're thinking twice because they're actually trying, that's the whole point, brother. That's the whole point of what I'm saying.
Because they're being nice and they're being open, I'd think twice.
That's the whole
point.
But
I don't want that.
But
I don't want to think twice because of that.
I totally agree with you. But I'm saying from their perspective, what do they want? They want exactly what you're talking about. And
they want the critics to shut up. They want the critics to feed the critics a little bit, give them some free stuff, fly them out here or there.
Yeah, but see, that's not what you and I want. Like, we don't want that. And to be frank, like, I actually don't want to go to their premieres. I don't want to get early access to stuff. I still want to be independent media. But I am saying I would be willing to sit down and talk. It's like what Susan Wojcicki does this with the YouTubers, and I still think she misses a lot. But she'll sit down with
At least she does it.
Right, exactly. At least she will sort of bring herself down to where the people are at. And allow tough questions, and she doesn't always answer them correctly or give people what they want, but she at least acknowledges that she needs to get in front of the people and address these problems.
She gives the time. Yeah,
she gives the time. She's a very wealthy, powerful woman, and she gives the time.
And she still sits down and talks to
Yep.
plebs like us, you know.
Exactly. It's an imaging thing, dude. The imaging and the messaging we're getting from them right now is like the exact opposite. It's like, we don't care about you. You'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know?
We're just gonna ignore it. Push it under the rug. That's not how it works. It just gets worse.
I agree.
It's like an infection. You gotta put ointment on it.
You gotta put that ointment on it. Come on, Disney, put some ointment on it. For
God's
sakes, it's starting to fester. It's really bugging me. Yo, can we talk just a little bit about the Dave Filoni stuff? Can I talk to you a little bit about the Dave story?
Oh, him getting promoted last year?
Yes.
Yeah,
but Disney officially acknowledging and not wanting to, by the way. And I know there's a lot of people that think this is not a story. And let me just tell you, that is the most frustrating thing in the world to me, is that people think this is not a story, because I'll tell you, it is absolutely a story for multiple reasons. Why are they not answering? Because we're talking. Yeah. Once I blab about this for a little bit, I'm sure we'll get more to Q&A. Now listen up, all you mother truckers in chat that doubt that this is a real thing. Listen to me. I know that a lot of people tried to throw cold water on this. I know a lot of people said this is an old story. It happened over a year ago. If it happened over a year ago, why weren't people talking about it? Disney has never, actually acknowledge that Dave Filoni has any more authority than he did before Mandalorian season 1. He's a
No, I did not.
producer
When
on
did
a
I never
show.
said that, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I think you're kind of a celebrity. But anyways, he was a producer on a show. He was a producer on another show. There's never been an official announcement about him getting any sort of leadership or creative position. This is a big deal. It's not the same position as Doug Chang. It is way higher than that position. It is technically the same name of title that John Knoll has at ILM, but John Knoll works for ILM and has several bosses, and then those bosses have to then report to Kathleen Kennedy. Dave's new position is only answerable to Kathleen Kennedy. It's like a new position. And if you look at how the thing is structured, like on, well, I can't really say on what, but there's some evidence to suggest that this new position for Dave is a very, very high position. And so, I think personally, a very good sign of what I hope is more changes to come to Disney as maybe we move towards Celebration next year.
I think that position is the closest thing to George Lucas that we could possibly get.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
He's the gatekeeper now.
Yeah.
He's not just, the guy given the ideas. He's the guy given the ideas and accepting if the ideas are going to become movies or not, shows or not.
Yeah, and I just think that he's so much of a better person to have in that control. And honestly, this is the thing that I think is really weird is that they didn't announce it. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of slipped it in there and didn't expect fans to notice. And this is the second part of the story, which I find fascinating, is despite it not being news and not being reported, Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy were trending that day. And I'm not talking a small amount of tweets. It's like 100,000 plus tweets between them on a single day, more buzz than Star Wars had been getting on Twitter probably in weeks, way more buzz than they got on even May the 4th organically. And it's all because of just the inkling that this guy might be taking over or taking Star Wars forward. And that in and of itself should just show people how much enthusiasm there is for Dave to be getting this position, for the future of Star Wars to be in that guy's hands. So I just, as much as I possibly can, want to talk about it, shout upon the mountain. Dave Filoni has a new leadership position. The Chosen One will take us into the future of Star Wars.
I made a video about it. I'm really happy about it. I think it's the right move, and I think it's about damn time. But it just so happens that it was a year ago. But now, also, does that mean we get to blame him for everything that goes not our way?
Definitely. So,
oh, no.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. Well, here's what I think. I actually don't think it happened a year ago. I think it happened last year. You know what I mean? I think depending on, it was probably a negotiation, because from what I'm hearing, this is definitely an increase in salary for him. I don't know when that effectively is going into play. It might literally not even technically be in play yet, or maybe it's for fiscal year 2021. So I don't know exactly. You know what I mean? Like I know he's writing and producing Ahsoka right now. What else is he doing? Or is his, I mean, I've constantly said that his influence on the Mandoverse, which I call the Filoniverse, is a big part of why it works together. Even the Variety article that reported on this, the day that this not news broke, indicated that this was likely just so that he could pull together this shared universe that's going to culminate in some kind of crazy event. It's the Filoniverse, and they've solidified that he's the guy for it. And anything connected to that now is, I'm assuming, will go through his direct creative purview, which is fantastic, man.
I would hope so. So where do you think that puts him in line with Jon Favreau? Do you think John's above him? Or?
This is what's interesting now, is I was expecting maybe John to also be on that website change, to also be connected somehow creatively, and that did not happen. So technically now, I think moving forward, Dave is the more powerful voice with how this will go. I mean, I'm sure like he loves working with John, and I'm sure he's going to let, it's so weird to say, but let John do whatever he wants. But frankly, I think Dave is the big boy on campus now. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. Well, I think when it comes to like directing live action, I think John is probably the guy that he learns from. But I think when it comes to like lore and all that stuff, and like checking everything to make sure it's congruent with George's vision, I think Dave is the guy. So I think together they make a dream team.
They make a dream team. I hope. Let me just tell you this: a slight conspiracy theory. I'll go on the slight conspiracy theory because we're talking
Uh-oh.
about how Rangers got canceled or shelved, right? And there's no announcement of John, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder, man. Is John coming back? Does John have a conflict now because of what happened with Gina? Does John not like what's going on between him and Pedro or whatever happened there? So allegedly, I don't know. I just find it weird that you kind of get this sort of slid under. They didn't want it
Can't
to be
imagine he's
news.
happy, dude.
He can't be happy, but is
He
he
sought her out, and then
real
they
unhappy?
fired her, and like, what
And
the
he's
hell? He
also-
built the
I
whole
mean-
show about her.
Yeah, for sure. I just would hope that that's not the case and that John would be back and be involved. You know what I mean? And maybe, yeah, as long as we can, if that happens, I'm not even going to be so worried about what happened behind the scenes. But if that does not happen, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. That's
That's
not going to be a
big-
good headline. Yeah,
No.
that's going to be very
No.
bad.
It's gonna be terrible. Do you know how many fans would be pissed?
For sure, man. For sure.
I don't know.
Crazy to even think about.
Yeah.
I mean, what would they do, bro? Like, what would they even do, bro? Like, legit. Like, what would they
They'd have to
do?
just focus on Kenobi.
They'd have to.
They'd have to release a trailer for Kenobi to distract us.
Yes, they'd have to.
And
Yeah.
Acolyte and Ahsoka.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough content coming that they might be able to survive it, but it would be a big blow. I'll tell you this: if it happens before some of these other shows start hitting, that's gonna be a very bad headline. If it happens in the middle of like, Book of Boba was awesome, holy crap, the Kenobi show's right down the line, Ahsoka's coming soon, whatever, then you're right. I think it's a little bit more survivable. But if it happens in the next like 3 months, that's gonna be a bad headline. Again, total conspiracy.
I think it's gonna happen, man. I think, like, why not?
I think he'll come back. I don't think John is. I think John will at least come back for Mando and future Mando projects. I mean, it is his baby.
You keep saying come back. What do you mean come back?
Well, I mean, technically, he's not doing anything right now if he's not doing Rangers. So until they go to make Mando 3, in which he would just normally come back for, if he chooses not to come back, then they will still do Mando 3. Like, they're going to do Mando season 3. They're going to continue to do this stuff. They're going to continue to do the Skywalker stuff. So he can choose to not come back, but all this stuff's going to continue. This is Disney IP. You know what I mean? They're not going to, this is a golden goose. They are not going to not do a show because Jon Favreau doesn't want to come back.
Did he say he doesn't want to come back, or they just not?
No. This is all just a conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. Oh, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's a conspiracy. I think he'll be back, but if he does not come back, if he really does say "screw you, Disney," I'm just saying that would be the mother of all bad headlines. That would be very, very bad for them.
Yeah, wouldn't be good.
It would be. They'd be in the big doo-doo now, as it were.
Thanks, McLovin.
Thanks, McLovin.
Appreciate it, dog.
We're pumped too, man.
Yeah. Big shout out to everybody. We surpassed 2.99 million today.
Dang.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah. 3 million soon, I guess.
That's a
Sweet.
big old number. That's a big one.
Yeah.
And what are you doing for 3 million again? I know you have some crazy plans.
I don't have any plans, actually.
What? I thought you
Yeah.
had crazy plans, bro.
No.
I thought you had a special outfit, some crazy performance you were gonna do, a song or something, maybe a dance number or something.
Yeah, I've done stuff for the million, for the 2 million. I don't know. It's just another number. Let's just keep it going.
Nah, bro, you gotta do something crazy.
No, because anytime I do, I get called egotistical or something like that. So,
dude, you should do that. You should be like, when I hit 3 million subscribers, I will do an hour straight speech of how awesome I am.
no, I'm just being me, dude. Just being real. Yeah. Thank you though. for the
You're
comment.
so enthusiastic. Jeez. No, it's probably
Yeah.
that I'm more enthusiastic than usual today. So maybe it's a juxtaposition.
No,
thing.
dude, I'm just chilling. I'm just doing my own thing.
I think they canceled
supposed to
Mando
be
and aren't
supposed to be
saying-
uppity all the time, I suppose.
Well, I was
Thanks,
not
man.
uppity last week, and I spent the whole week feeling
Appreciate it,
awful
Hector.
about it. So now I decided to be happy once again.
At least I can admit being egotistical. Yes, that's me. That's me.
Look, man, I'm a little egotistical too. You should see me play Halo. It's pretty crazy.
Do I think Kira's good looking? Yes, absolutely,
Of course.
of course.
Are we blind? Deploy the of courses.
Deploy the yeses?
Are you an angel? What?
You know what? For 3 million, I'd love to do a video with you, like a gaming stream or something, just to hang out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'd be down, man. I might even crack a few adult beverages while we're streaming and just ask you a bunch of questions. In fact, if you want to do that, I can do like if you get like your Discord or something to like throw in questions, I can like kind of just ask you questions throughout a gaming stream and then just kind of have you answer them as we game if you want or something like that. You know what I mean?
everyone's saying name reveal for 3 million. Yeah, sure.
That's
So
what
many
I
of you
thought-
guys know
I
my
thought
name
you
already.
were. I thought you were gonna do that. I thought that's
Yeah,
what
but
it was.
that's not big.
To some people, it is.
It's just
Yeah,
a
dude, it
name.
is.
We all got one. We parents gave us a name when we were born.
I know, right?
I think it's
not kinda
cooler
weird?
when we give ourselves names.
Me too, man. I think I want to go by Nighthawk.
It'd be cool.
Gonna intro me as Nighthawk every week now.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
Yeah, right, dude.
Your parents give you a name. You don't get to choose.
It is kind of weird that happens, actually. You know what I mean? That you have to. And I never really thought about it, but it's all just a choice your parents make, and then you get called that kind of.
And then you're stuck with that forever.
Mm-hmm. Dude, look, I think there's some merit to this theory that Travis has. I mean, I think that, frankly, I heard the Book of Boba Fett show was rushed like a mother trucker. Think about this. Well, I don't know if I should. There were people within Disney that didn't even know about Book of Boba, dude. That's all I'll say. Can you and Josh recreate the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight? Dude, that would be really funny. You know what we could do? Can we do that
have a green
face
screen?
swap thing? Heck yeah, I got a green screen. I got a green screen right here. Actually, I just installed because I'm trying to do more green screen on my streams.
Why don't we do
I'll
that?
show you.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we do
Check
that?
this out, dude? I did the whole freaking wall.
Oh, right on.
Uh,
Josh, I'm serious.
yeah.
Why don't we do
No,
that shit?
I'm serious. I can
Like-
totally do it.
Like you just say Obi-Wan's lines in the camera. We just write them out, what you say, and I'll do what I say. I'll edit it all together, put it in the Mustafar background,
Dude, I'm down. I'm down.
color us
Why
in
is-
a little bit.
Why is my camera being so crazy? I shouldn't have moved it. Now it's like,
I'd be down for that.
tripping me out.
Dude, why don't we do that? Why don't we do scenes from Star Wars together?
We could totally do that.
They're just super cringe. They're super poorly acted, and there's like a crappy, like flaky green screen behind us.
I would love that, dude.
Why don't we do that?
We should do that.
Thanks for the idea.
Yeah, man. That's a great idea. That'd be
That's
lot
a great
of fun.
idea. Yeah. Okay, let's do that for 3 mil. I'll send you the script. What scene do you want to do?
Yeah.
Chat, let's decide here. Are we doing the Mustafar battle or are we doing something else?
You know, we could lead
Any
up
scene.
to the Mustafar battle. We could like do some like other ones first,
Like a
and then
segment
do
every
that
week?
one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what do we start with? Chat. What do you want us to start with? This is a great idea.
Dude, you know,
And you know what we
dude?
can do? We can post we can alternate on each other's channel. That way they go to your channel too, and then your guys go to my
Yeah.
channel. We can do that.
Yeah. Dude,
So
you know
the
what?
first
too?
part.
I was
yeah.
thinking, what if you got Kat to do Padme in one of the scenes, and we could do the one where this first scene that pointed out to me was the one where you were like, "We will," or when Anakin's saying like they will track down the people that are after her, and Obi-Wan's like,
episode
that's
2
not our
Anakin?
directive. That's not our
Yeah.
directive. But we could like really ham it up where you're like, no, like I've got the list.
not mandate, master.
Exactly. But like take it to the next level where like you'd have like actual like things or like have a board where it's all drawn up or something. You know what I mean? Like we could have fun with it. I don't know.
We could have fun with it, man. Make it funny. I'm so
Yeah.
down for this idea. This would be great.
I'm down too. Dude, that's a great scene. That's a great idea too, bro. I could totally do that. Oh my god, I would do great faces and voices for each
That'd be
character.
great.
Would that be funny? Like
That'd be
different,
awesome.
and that would be one you could do with a voice or with a face swap or with like a crappy
Wow.
key-
I
keying
think we
or
just
something like
created a whole new amount of stuff,
that. Yeah, man,
amount of
that'll be fun.
content.
That'll be fun. Star Wars.
When you
Cooking.
do hit 3 mil, do a Star Wars cooking show.
What would that be like?
Just cook something, I guess. Could bake something.
Huh.
Seen in theory with his
Yeah.
Palpatine impression.
Do you have a good palp? Could do Ben and Vader on the
Ben
first
and Vader.
time. True. We'd have to do a new version of that though.
I like this idea. I think
Yeah,
we
man.
should start with episode 2 or 3. Or maybe, dude, even starting with episode 1, I could be like little Anakin and you could be like Qui-Gon or something.
Hilarious. Well, wait. What if we got Mark to be Qui-Gon?
Yeah.
Do we get Mark to be Qui-Gon and then he gets killed, dude?
And just no green screen for Mark.
Dude,
You just
we should try
this-
to, bro. I don't know if they would let him do this, but if we could get Sam Witwer to be Maul just for a second to kill Mark, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, that'd be amazing. Theory with
Yeah,
Jabba Josh.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah. That's my Jabba.
I'm down for these. These would be funny. Django versus Obi. Who do you think we could play? Like, who do you think Mark could be Hux? You know, that's definitely one character he could play.
Yeah.
Josh, I feel like Josh is an Obi.
I could do Obi. I'd have to work on the accent a little bit. But yeah, I could work on it.
Just sad I just started Spectre of the Past, and when I saw Anakin as Leia's third kid's name, made me tear up, cry.
Yep.
Do a
Anakin
Padme
Solo.
and Anakin scene together? No, Cat's got to play Padme.
Dude, that's why I think Cat would be so funny in that scene where Obi-Wan and Anakin are arguing and she's just kind of awkwardly there. And like Obi-Wan's like, you will learn your place. You know what I mean? And Obi-Wan's like, I'm going to friggin', you know, that would be kind of funny. We should ad lib a little bit with it too. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, just make stuff up as we go. Yeah. 100%.
Dude, I can't believe the way you're sitting in your chair. It's so fucking toxic, bro.
You're a very toxic male. Solo lost $250.
250 million. Yeah, no, it did not make it lost a lot of money for them. Yeah.
That's because they were done, and then they decided to redo the whole movie.
Yeah, they remade the whole movie. It was
They
like
made 2 movies.
2 weeks left of principal photography. Kathleen Kennedy like goes over there and is like, yeah, we're gonna end this whole thing. That's crazy to me, dude. Like, that's crazy. Now, we don't know what the other movie would have been, so maybe that other movie would have been way too ridiculous or whatever. But you think he would have figured it out a little sooner than that, you know what I mean? That's a
Yeah.
long time. I mean, they basically made the whole other movie, bro. Like Lord and Miller, they shot a lot.
Do I look like I want to get canceled again?
Dude.
Josh Service Theory fighting Kennedy Darth Maul.
That'd be kind of fun. Like Duel of the Fates, but it's Kathleen Kennedy's face done in the Darth Maul style. Hey, Stephanie.
You just made some weird fanfics. It's true. I did. They were weird.
The youngling scene. Everybody wants to see the youngling scene. With like my face being like, Master Skywalker, there are too many.
And then you guys just fight back. But they're all clones of you. Do you think Disney understands how
Dude.
important the Obi-Wan series is? I hope so.
They definitely know it's important. Man. You know what I mean? They
Yeah,
definitely know it's important.
I think so. Dude, this could be so funny. We could just be like walking in the Jedi Temple and like doing
Definitely.
stupid stuff. Yeah, just reenacting scenes. This would be so great.
It would be fun.
We could get Rahul in some of them, maybe.
Yeah, if he's down, I don't know. The mouse might be mad, even though he's not. I mean, I think he still might be somebody in Mando eventually. Just probably not. He's not going to be Ezra, unfortunately. I would have loved him as Ezra. He would have been a great Ezra. But they're doing Aladdin.
Yeah. No. There you go.
Yo, what's up, Pac-Man? Hope you've been eating them ghosts and fruit and whatnot. How about badly acted woke versions
of scenes?
That could be funny.
That would be really funny.
That could be funny. You know what, though? To be fair, I don't know how you... I mean, that would take me some serious thought because, like, the prequel... How could the prequels...
It wouldn't at all.
Yeah, how could they do that?
It would be very easy. Anything with Padme.
But Padme, I mean... Okay,
No,
so
dude, look, off the top of my head, Anakin standing in the on the balcony with Padme, like, you are so beautiful. And she's like, what, so I'm just an object to you?
Right, sure.
Or
how about this? When the tiger cuts her and she gets ripped off and it's a midriff, or you know what I mean? Like cuts the torso of her thing off in the second one. Like Obi-Wan comes up and he's like, oh no, we can't have this. This midriff is sexualizing you. You know what I mean? And like wraps her up or something. Yeah, something like that could be fun.
Yeah, or maybe when Anakin has that dream about her dying, she's like, do you think I can't protect myself?
Right, yeah.
Or on Mustafar where he's like, I did it to save you, to protect you, whatever. You could say something the same way.
Yeah. We'd have to. Yeah, there could be a lot of interesting ways to play it.
I once opened the door for a girl and she got really mad.
Did you like let the door close after that? Were you like, fine? And then it.
I was like, oh, what's the big deal? And she's like, no, equality. She got very, very pissed off. No, this was like, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. Never forgot about it. It was very jarring.
That's kind of weird. I gotta be honest. Like even if I really held like those kind of beliefs, like there's just a time and a place, and if someone's being like colloquially nice, like what kind of person would spit in the face of that? You know what I mean? Josh is yo, evil Lincoln, and I love his friggin' Patrick thing, whatever the heck.
Nice.
Twitter preparing to cancel. Getting them fingers warmed up. They're getting ready.
Yeah. Whatever I did, I deserve it.
You deserve it, dude.
Do you think Caleb Doom and Cal Kestis knew each other? I mean, they were like the same age.
It depends on... I mean, there's no indication of this from Caleb's story, but I guess that gets changed whenever now. So, who knows? I think it depends on what we see from Fallen Order 2 and the rest of Cal's story, right?
Yes.
We don't really know what happened.
We don't really know what happened to him. It's the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader on the Death Star, and everyone judges Obi-Wan for fighting.
That is great, dude. Disabled. Yeah.
That would actually be pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a theory. Knowing how Disney likes to change things, I think they were grooming Kira to be Darth Talon.
Yeah, like a Darth Talon replacement.
Oh, like
yeah. She wouldn't like become Darth Talon, but like maybe a Darth Talon replacement that could work. I don't know though. I've never seen. I mean, have we ever seen Emilia Clarke be really physical? I mean, I know she was in that Terminator movie, but I never saw it. And she's not really physical in Game of Thrones. It's like a lot of her. She's royalty, right? So a lot of her peoples do the fighting, or her dragons do the fighting. You know,
right? Come to
my
Egypt.
whole school sim for you.
I'd love to come to Egypt. That'd be great,
dude. Egypt would be cool. I've always wanted to see the pyramids for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that'd be kind of dope.
I love different parts of the world. I've been all through Europe. Well, I guess the western part, middle and western.
I don't leave my country here. You know what I mean? I've been to Canada.
We could do a Hunter and Omega scene. Omega.
You know, if she's so freaking special, why does she keep screwing up the mission? You know what I mean?
The pyramids suck. No, I think they'd be really cool to see. I've never seen them.
The pyramids suck, bruh. What are you talking about?
Well, he lives there. So
yeah,
he's like,
for
whatever.
him, they suck. You think your house is gonna do more for us than the pyramids?
Yeah, come on.
Sweet ass arcade games or something. at your house? What's at your house? Put it in the chat right now. What's at your house that's better than the pyramids? I need an explanation.
No, please. I'm not close to 3 million. My channel's dying.
It's because you're toxic.
Some toxic, yeah. Josh is Watto.
Dude,
we could do that scene.
I would play the
do
crap
that
out of
scene.
Watto, bro. I'll play a mean Watto.
I could just make you like floating and flying. Yeah,
dude. Yes, like in a
Good.
little. Yeah. I could do it. Honestly, bro. I have another green screen. I could cut a hole in it and like poke my head like through it, and I like my head through the green screen. That'd be kind of fun.
I feel like I would be R2.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. I'd be more of a 3PO for sure.
I'm the shorter, blockier one.
Well, plus like I'd talk too much. You know what I mean? So I could be.
Have you
3PO.
seen R2? All he does is talk.
True, but it's in forms that like other people aren't really feeling. You know what I mean? Like C-3PO constantly talking in basic, and people are like, "Shut the."
I suppose.
I rewatched recently the OG trilogy again, and it's fantastic. In case anybody
It's
was
great,
wondering,
isn't it?
it's still good.
I know. You know what I was thinking for Nerd Theory? We could also reenact. We just read from the script, from the prequels or the originals,
That could be really fun.
and reenact them.
You know what? Why don't we do? Okay, this.
You want to do one of that right now to close?
Well, how about? Well, we totally can. But here's another cool thing that we do. Remember how we were talking about like the fan film festival and all that?
Yeah.
What if we had a contest where people submitted a script of a fan fiction scene that's specifically written for you and I to do, and then we pick some of those? That could be a fun supplemental way to start getting that interaction. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. They could pick their 2 favorite Star Wars characters, put them in a scene together. You know what I mean? And come up with
That'd be
something
so
good.
cool. I'd love to go to Japan. Japan is on my place of places that I haven't been.
Yeah, I want to.
I gotta see
a lot of time in Japan. I might die in Japan, to be honest with you. Not like on purpose, but it's just I feel like late in life, that's probably where I'll go.
Oh, to Croak?
Yep, either that or Mars, baby.
Yeah.
At one point, after all this crazy youthful adventuring in the content game, I want to just go to Japan, study poetry, samurai swords, and just let my beard grow out like Walt freaking Whitman, and just hang in the freaking mountains of Okinawa or something. You know what I mean? And just drink sake, study the sword, and write poetry. That's what I want.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a great life. I want to retire. I want to not retire. I don't think I'll ever retire. I like working. I like doing stuff. I want to live in Maui.
Dude, that'd be good.
Yeah. I want to live in Maui on a big property, maybe like a farm.
Yeah.
Have a whole bunch of dogs, some horses.
Yeah.
Just get away. Just go
Yeah.
away.
Absolutely. I mean, I think
grid.
that there's going to be so much like of my life that's really like loud and interactive and like just like constantly interacting with people, and that's why like I look forward to a quiet time when I'm older. You know what I mean? And just kind of backing away. And
Yeah, me too. I'm ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Is the council gone for good?
I don't know if I'd say for good, but
I don't say for good, but
yeah,
council's very fluid. Whenever feel like it, we'll have the council.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, we've just kind of been enjoying just kind of getting back to just chatting.
I've really missed just me and Josh chatting, and it's great. It's great to just
And I think the response from the fans has been pretty clear too. Like a lot of people just really like it when we're cutting it up a little bit more. I do think though that we've had fun in the council and there've been good moments. There've obviously been some bad moments. And I think that's part of it too. Like just being real. It's like the more you bring people in, the more you just account for unknown things. You know what I mean? And so it's a little bit of, I mean, look, honestly, like,
the point of it was to highlight smaller channels, and it became, a cool thing and a fun thing. But it almost opened me up too much, where people felt like they could come in here, get their notoriety, and take a chunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, that wasn't my intention.
Yeah, I think that's definitely part of it. I think part of it too was it got a little too chaotic with too many voices, and it got away from being sort of clean, good content. Yeah, and it kind of lost some of its. And this is just something that was just in my opinion, it lost some of its pure content value. Like
Yeah.
it was fun, but it was like kind of a different vibe. It wasn't really like let's sit back and watch this content. It was more like, whoa, what's happening here? You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
think we could sort of bridge the gap, maybe with fewer people on screen at a time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Rotating people out, or maybe for special occasions, having a larger group. But yeah, I mean, I think, frankly, sometimes it's just, especially in the slow news times like this, sometimes Theory and I just want to get on, cut it up for what it's worth of what's
Just have
going on.
fun and
Yeah, and then
and then it behind the scenes it was just so, please shout me out, please bring me on, please. People were just like, to the point where like very annoyingly adamant about getting a shout out or being put on the Nerd Council, and I'm just like,
yeah, and I do want to say, I mean, like, dude, that totally happened, and I know there were people out there that were good with it. There were people out there that were, very reasonable in the way they approached or whatever. But there were a lot of people out there that weren't. And when we started having
Yeah.
people on, some people felt entitled, and then there have been, people that were very vocal about being entitled. So there was some negative things that came from it too. But
Yeah.
there was, I mean, like, I don't regret it. I think there was a lot of fun, and I'm glad that I met some of those people, and I'm sure we'll make content with them again.
they were all nice people.
Yeah. Indeed.
So, yeah. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is we love doing our thing, and
Yeah.
Nerd Theory started with just me and Josh, and we'll bring different people on at different times, but having it be like a regular weekly thing, nah.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we ever really wanted to do it that way, but
We
it just
didn't.
became-
It just
yeah,
became a thing.
it just
Yeah.
kind of became that thing. We're very sometimes, I mean, it's interesting. You and I are very we have a very interesting vibe. We're both very nonchalant about things sometimes. You know what I mean? Where we're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's cool. Like, we'll go with it. And then sometimes I feel like we take a step back and we think about it and we're like, man, we're kind of not that cool with some of these things, At least that's me. I know that. Or I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with it. And I think about it and I'm like, man, like, I don't know. I kind of like this a little more or whatnot,
Yeah. It almost felt like I opened myself up to the point where I was like, please come on, like shout your channel out, get some new eyes on what you're doing. And there was just too much, everyone wants a piece. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like, come on, man. I'm just a human. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It can be weird.
And they were going through Josh, like they were like blowing up his messages and emails, and it was just nonstop. And Josh was telling me about it, and it was just like, yeah, dude. So,
Yep, definitely. And again, there were people out there that were very cool about it, that were reasonable in the way
Absolutely.
they approached. I don't want people to feel like they can't approach us or they can't like say anything, but there was
Of course they can.
definitely some people that just made it a little weird. And at the end of the day, it was just one of those things where I think sort of reducing it is best for everybody. You know what I mean? Frankly. So,
yeah, I agree.
but it's not gone forever.
It's not gone forever, man. We're just chilling right now, doing our thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's our show, so we're just doing our show. That's all it is.
Cutting it
Theory
up.
and Josh would love to hear your opinion on how Bad Batch is going for you guys. Did you miss the whole show?
I know, right?
I'm liking it. I just want to see it progress more in terms of the story and not be so much of, crash land on a planet, fix the ship, blast off into space, and repeat. So, and of course, while they do that, they build the characters and, they introduce new characters like Fennec Shand and stuff. But I'd just like to see more. I want to see more of a development with Order 66, just like we saw in the first episode, how it was very firsthand. And I feel like Crosshair is really carrying the show.
Definitely. And that's the thing. He hasn't been in the last two, right? So it's like, that's, I think, something to make note of. I really hope we get some more Crosshair. And if we go into some straight Crosshair episodes, I'm going to be a real happy boy. You know what I mean? But even Omega, she's going through that weird kind of phase right now. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Been shelved. Oh, very clever.
Very clever.
Oh, clever girl. Yeah. That's where we're at with it.
Clever girl? Who said clever? Who said that?
That's in Jurassic Park. I think Sam. No, the like.
Yeah.
Remember the raptor dude when he gets he gets bit up.
Yeah.
Or whatever
Or
by the
no. Are you thinking Jumanji?
No, it's the raptor thing. Because remember, he's talking about how clever the raptors are, and then the one like tricks him and gets him outside. I forget exactly how it happens,
Yeah,
but
maybe.
she tricks him into either letting them out or getting out or something like that. And then he's like,
Callus, we love you, man.
yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, Callus.
We love everybody that was on there. We just want to do our thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure.
No hidden message behind that.
Yeah, 100%. Clever girl. Yeah, there it is. Somebody was
Clever girl.
Yeah, it's a homie with the shotgun.
Right. Okay. Jurassic Park. You dolt? Does that mean idiot?
I think it's like a English way to say that or something.
All right, fair enough. Thank you for acknowledging me.
Thank you. I'm validated.
Looking forward to yes, dude. I'm a big fan of Venom. Ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for Venom too. I like the first movie a lot. So a lot of people crap on that movie. I thought it was fun, dude.
A lot of people crap on everything.
True.
Is what it is. Did you want to read a few lines from Revenge of the Sith acted out, and then we call it quits?
Absolutely. Where are you gonna send it to me on the Discord?
Yeah, I'll just find it right here.
Or you can just pull it up. Yeah, I guess you can just pull it up on the
I already got it, dude.
Boom.
I already got it, baby.
Will I be playing Jar Jar in this one? Annie.
All right.
Can you zoom in a little? Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, where should we jump to? I'm just gonna pick a random page.
Cool, sounds good. Okay, I'll be Padme.
You'll be Padme?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, why did I pick like the most? Okay, all right.
All right, ready? Somebody clip this out. All right, here we go. I was worried about you. I heard news that there was fighting at the temple. Notices a gash on his shoulder. You've been injured.
It's nothing. You'll want to sit down to hear this.
They sit down on a large sofa.
There was an insurrection. The Jedi turned against the Chancellor.
I can't believe it.
Neither could I, until I saw it with my own eyes.
Is it because of what happened between you and Master Windu?
This wasn't in the movie.
I know, right?
They were upset the Chancellor put me on the council, but the division was there long before these troubles.
Then, what does this mean for the Republic? For you?
It means I'm no longer a Jedi. Now we're free, like we'd hoped to be.
And Obi-Wan? What happened to him?
I don't know. He disappeared once the clones were called in.
Padme gets up and paces in front of Anakin. This is all so much to take in. Master Kenobi was your best friend. Our friend.
No one could have foreseen this happening. Perhaps it's the best in the meantime that you go home to Naboo until this all settles down.
He stands and holds Padme's hands.
Let our child be born there instead of here, where there's so much turmoil.
So, will you be able to join me?
Just as soon as I'm able. Certainly the Chancellor will allow me to leave.
Then it's settled. They kiss. What are you if you're no longer a Jedi?
I'm my own master now.
Damn, that's $1 million clip right there.
And you're sounding like a separatist.
We love you guys. We'll see you later. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.
Peace.